So today we'll discuss the rows transformation and built-in transform functions. So in rows transform, we have how to remove the rows, how to remove the blank rows, and duplicate rows. Grouping row. Yes. Let's come to the and take the Excel sheet. So take the row transformation Excel sheet as a source. So come to the query editor. So with this Excel sheet, we will work the header row, how to remove the rows and blank rows, filter the row, grouping the row. So in this Excel sheet, I don't require the first record. And come to the last. And also I don't require the last two records. No last record. I don't require the top one record and bottom one record. So I want to remove the top one record. So come to the remove rows, remove top rows. So first row I don't require. And again come to the remove rows. Remove the bottom. The bottom first record also I don't require. And second one I am using I want to use first row as a header. So first row will become the header. So I am working with only the row transformations here. let's work with the keep top rows. So if you want to keep the top 5 records, so we'll get only the top 5 records. Now I want to give the range. Keep range of the rows. First row 3, and number of records I want to get 5 records. So it will fetch third record. So from the third record it will get 5 records. 1, 2, 3, 4, from 142 to 290. First row is the third record, and from the third I want to get 5 records. So from 142 to 290 we fetch the records. So that's the range of the rows. So select the invoice column. So keep the duplicates. So we will get the only the duplicate records. Select the two multiple columns, invoice column and customer name. So come to here with the duplicates. So these all records are the duplicate records. Vidya, Ravi Kumar, Vanitha. Contains the same ID, the same customer name. These are the duplicates. And now I want to delete the duplicates. So I want to select the invoice column, customer name column, and the column amount. So just remove the duplicates. Previously it's showing the 33 records, but now it's showing 29 records only at the left corner. So 9 columns, 29 records. Before it was showing there are the 33 records, but whenever I remove the duplicates it's showing 29 records. So select the product name. So I want to remove the errors. So remove the errors. error record is deleted. So before we have one error record here showing the error record. So I want to delete that error record. So remove the errors. So I want to apply the group rows. I want to apply the grouping concept here. Before applying the grouping, so please check the data types. Invoice. So invoice I am going to take whole number and invoice date. Customer name will be in the string format. And shipping address, that is in text format. Product name is in text format. Quantity is phone number. Amount, that is phone number. So let's apply the group. So I want to apply the group by on customer name and the product name. So group by customer name comma product name. So then I want to calculate sum of the amount. Come to the transform. I'm applying the group by on customer name comma product name. So what I want to calculate, I want to calculate sum, operation sum of amount. This is a sum of amount. And next column is a new column, it's a count. Count rows. So I applied group by on two columns, group by customer name comma product name. So whenever you use the group by in select statement, we require an aggregate function. So that aggregate function I am using sum of amount, and that column name is a sum of amount. And also I want to count the rows. That column name is a count. It works like a count star. So what I did here, select query, select sum of amount comma count star. And I use the group by on two columns, grouping on customer name and product name. So grouping on customer name and product name. So whenever we use the group by, so we require an aggregate function. So sum of amount I'm going to calculate. So it calculated the sum of amount. We worked with the header row, remove rows, the blank rows, duplicate rows, error in row. So let's work with the filtering selected rows and Power Query. So right click on the shipping address. We'll have the text filters here. Here we have the text filters. The text filters contains so it's a case sensitive. So for example here I want to give the Uno. Want to give So text filters, we have so many text filters. So in that I want to use that contains. So it's a case sensitive here. So I'll give that it here. I'll get the Pune data and the Calcutta data. Here also you can apply the multiple filters, filtering on multiple columns. So come to the advanced. You can apply the filtering on the multiple columns. So shipping address. So that's the Kerala. And another column, I want to take the product name. It's a bike. You can add multiple columns. You can apply the filtering on multiple columns. The customer name. So I gave the, I'm going to apply the filtering, not on the single column. I'm applying the filtering on multiple columns. One column, shipping address, that contains the Kerala, or product name that contains the bike, or I want to give the customer name, which contains the Gorak. So it will give the data. So product name is containing the bike, and address, shipping address contains some Kerala, and customer name, that is a Gorak. It's giving the data. Let's come to the work with the invoice date. You can apply the date filters also. So about the date filter, we'll see here. So we have the built-in transform functions. Built-in transform functions. So that they are the text, date, conditional. So there is a, I'm using the built-in transformation here. So there is a big difference between a transformation and a add column. So whenever you use the add column, a new column will be added. For example, if I take the customer name, so whenever I select on the customer name, so whenever I use the transform, when I apply the transformation on the customer name, so it will be applied on the same column. So whenever I use the add column, so whenever I apply the transformation on customer name, a new column will be added with the help of the add column. I'll show you practically here. So click on the customer name. I want to get transform. I want to convert into the lowercase. So whenever I apply this transform lowercase, so that is applying on the same column. It's not creating the another column. It's not creating the another column. So with the help of transform, we can apply on the same column name. So when I apply the lowercase, it's converting into the lowercase. But with the help of add column, I'm going to take that column, customer name, a new column is added here. So we can apply the transformation on the same column, or we can apply the transform on the new created column also. So with the help of add column, we can create a new column. So let's say I want to apply customer name on the same column only. I want to apply the again uppercase. So this is applying on the same column, not on the new column. Find out the length. Find out the length. So we have so many text functions. So we can work with the lowercase, uppercase, and you can clean the data. So you can apply with the different transformations. So these all are the built-in transform functions. So text, numbers, date, and conditional. These are the built-in transform functions. So we worked with the text. So let's work with the date function. So date dimension is very important dimension. We will get the data from we'll get the start of the year, month, name. So these values will get from the given date. The given date is the invoice date. So from this invoice date, I want to get the date, start of the year, and month name, and the year. So here I required only the invoice date. So I want to remove the other columns. So come to the add column. So there is a date transform. From the date transform, I want to calculate year. A new column is created. So with the help of add column, it's not applying on the same column. So there is a big difference between using the transform and add column. Whenever you use the add column, so here I selected the invoice date. So whenever I apply this transform year, the start of the year, that function will be applied on the invoice date and a new column will be created. So before we have seen in the transform, whenever you use the transform, it will apply on the same column. So if I apply the start of the year, it will display start of the year only. It won't create the new column in the transform. But in the add column, it will create the new column. So here I want to get the start of the year. So every time a new column is creating. So here from this invoice date, I want to get the month name. So come to the month category. So name of the month. Calculate the name of the month. So that's the January. So every time a new column is creating with the help of add column. So there is a big difference in the transformation and add column. If you use the add column, a new column will be created every time. So from this invoice date, I want to get in the month. The month is 1, 2. So by this way, I am creating a date dimension. Select on the invoice date. I am getting the result from the invoice date only. So from this invoice date, I want to calculate start of the month, start of the year, select on the invoice date and then calculate calculate end of the year. And each quarter of the year. So if you use the transform, so it will change the base column. So whenever I click on the year, so that is applying on the base column only. It's not creating a new column. It's applying on the base column only. So before it was showing 1-1-2017. From the date it's calculated 2017. But here I don't want to use the transform. I got it. So we can use the transform. I want to get the month. So from the date it's calculating the month name. It's calculating on this same column, but I don't want to use the transform here. I want to use the add column. With the add column, so it will get the value of the year from the invoice date. Let's see. I want to apply the week of the year. Of the month. Week. End of week. So what's the day? Name of the day. Is it a Monday or Wednesday, whatever it may be. So we can calculate many more options with the date. So these are the built-in transform functions, the text, numbers and date, and we have one more thing, that is the conditional. Got the all columns. I want to apply the conditional condition on the particular column. the sales data. Already have the sales data here. So we have an option conditional column. Column, the amount is less than 10,000. I want to display less than 10,000. And I want to add some more rules here. So here I'm adding a new column. I'm adding a conditional column. So it's taking the base column, that is the amount. So it's not applying on that existing column. It is going to create another column. And the base column is the amount. The amount is less than 10,000. I want to display in another column as a less than 10,000. If amount is less than or equal to 50,000, I want to display 10,000, 1 to 50,000. Amount is less than or equal to 2 lakhs. And again add the rule. It works like a if-else statement. Then 2 lakhs, 1 to 4 lakhs. Create the rule again. Amount is less than or equal to 7 lakhs. So otherwise I want to display lakhs. Custom column name is a sales range. So sales. So I am going to create a new column, and my base column is a column name, that is amount. So based on that, if amount is less than 10,000, I want to display in another column as a less than 10,000. The amount is less than 50,000, I want to display in another column 10,000 to 50,000. So just click on OK. Displaying another column as a sales range. So the amount is something 3,16,104. So that is in between the range 2 lakhs to the 4 lakhs. You can also apply the number filters. So in this section we discuss the conditional column and text and number. We can also apply the number filters, text filters, the date filters, the conditional column. So today we discuss the rows transformation. It is all rows transformation. We worked on the filtering row, the grouping row, previous row. So we worked with the row transformation and other built-in transformations, built-in transform functions. So today we work with this, and tomorrow we have to work with joins examples and the append duplicate queries, and we'll see some case studies. So in this class, do you have any doubts? If you take this transform, there will be, I want to add a mister. I want to add the suffix prefix as a mister here. So come to the form transform. So we have an option format. So add the prefix. So I want to add the prefix. The value I want to give mister. Click on the customer name. Come to the format. Add the suffix. I want to add something. So you got the difference between the transform and the add column, right? So whenever I apply the transform, the logic is applying on that column only. But whenever I am using the add, a new column is creating. In transform, a new column is not creating. But in the add column option, a new column is creating. So today you have any doubts in this session? Hello, did you hear me?
Hello, Venkat.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. Can you go this to the filtering select row in Power Query? Can you
Yeah,
go back there?
yeah, filtering, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so just click on the diamond symbol, the customer name. You will get
Uh-huh.
the text filter symbol.
Hmm.
So I want to take the contains,
Okay.
take the name Gorak.
Hmm.
To take the OR function, contains. So I may get the data Gorak data, or I may get the data Vanita data.
Okay. We can add more also, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Okay.
But in the basic, I can work
Hmm.
with only single column.
Okay. Okay.
But whenever I select the advanced, so
Hmm.
I can apply the filtering on the multiple columns. Here, first column is
Okay.
a customer name,
Hmm.
and second column I want to take the shipping address.
Okay.
Shipping address, it may be I want to add the Pune. So I'm applying the filtering on the multiple columns, not on the
Can
single
we
column.
add more also, right? There are two columns. Okay.
Add one more column also.
Okay. Got it.
Product
Okay.
name.
Okay.
Bike. I'm using the OR function, not the AND function. If I use the AND function, so I can get from the same row. That row, the customer name row contains Gorak, and shipping address row contains the Pune, and the product name, that row contains bike. In single row, we can't get all the details. So that's why I have used the OR function, where the customer name contains Gorak, or the shipping address contains the Pune, or the product name contains the bike. So I may get 3 or 4 records. So customer name contains the Gorak, or I have used the Pune. So we have a Pune in the shipping address, and also in the product name it contains the bike. So if I use the AND, so I don't get this 4 details. So where can I apply, where customer name is equal to it contains Gorak, and shipping address contains Kochi, and product name contains cycle. So whenever 3 conditions satisfy, I will get the first record. So I'm going to apply the text filters. You can also clear the filter. I got only the correct details. So it is also a case sensitive. whatever the data you have. For example, capital PUNE, Pune, you have to give in the value as a same case sensitive. It is a case sensitive in the data. So then only we can fetch the relevant data. So practice it and come up with doubts. We'll discuss tomorrow. And tomorrow I want to start up with the joints. So how to apply the joints and how to apply the append queries. So let's differentiate merge and append. So here you can see the option. The merge queries and append queries. So I'll explain you how to use the joints in the merge queries and how to use the union in the append queries. So all of you got the inputs right? Did you got all of these inputs? Did you got all these inputs? The 9-10 inputs?
No, Venkat, I didn't.
No? Okay. I shared actually. Please check your email.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll send again.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. And good night. I'm closing the session.
Okay, is it we have class tomorrow, Venkat?
Yeah, yes, Andy.
ఓకే అండి. సాటర్డే సండే క్లాస్ ఉంటుందా లేదా? జస్ట్ ఆస్కింగ్.
సండే ఉండదు, సాటర్డే తీసుకుంటాను.
ఓకే అండి.
ఓకే, సండే ఉండదు. ఓకే.
ఓకే. బాయ్.
ఓకే, బాయ్. Khaja, you there?
నాకు